ASL Prime League.
Welcome back, or I guess welcome to Terraform. Some of you guys' homes on Terraform, welcome back to the lovely place. But here in the top left-hand corner of Terraform, the orange Protoss player from Team Ascension, it is Astrea.
Woo! And down here at the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we have our red Terran player, the always intelligent, always parkouring QXC.
I like that. Always hardcoring or always parkouring?
Always parkouring.
I still didn't hear if it was parkour or hardcore, but we'll
but it's both, really.
Parkour. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's hardcore and it is parkour. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know what QXC does in his free time, but definitely always showing cool builds wherever he can. Opening up with, yep, exactly what I was thinking it was going to be. It will be the racks into reactor. Sometimes it's kind of a cool play I like from Terran players doing barracks refinery reactor, because you can either just push out a lot of Reapers or you can play a little bit more defensive, push out a couple Marines, take a natural base, and it looks like, at least in this situation, you guys can see the bunker coming down for QXC. And does Astrea know about this? Nope, he does not, but this probe of him will get that nice scout off. Actually, an engineering bay block.
Yeah, just an engineering bay. Yeah, not the aggressiveness, but obviously it's certainly annoying to have that block like in Heart of the Swarm. It's probably even more annoying now that you're expected to expand faster and get that Nexus down a lot quicker. That could be a pretty big delay.
Yeah, definitely. It could be a delay, and it looks like that is what Astrea wanted to do originally, take that natural base. I mean, he did not do the kind of more aggressive double gate we see sometimes, a little bit extra minerals. In the early game as Protoss, you can either decide to go for just really early expansions or go for your quick 2-gate. That won't be the case, though, for now. 2 more gates being added on. We'll be able to take his natural and just going into Twilight Council. Now, one thing in Heart of the Swarm that Terran players always were annoyed by is when they can scan. That's how they scout their opponent, and then they only get like half of what's going on, or they get a Twilight Council. But what sucks now in Legacy of the Void is you not only have blink but the shields, so you always got to be really hesitant. You can't just scan and be like, okay, cool, it's gonna be blink. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, the little adept run by, of course. Neat that you can now cancel that little ghost thing. As you wait until the very last second to actually cancel that, knowing that the Marines would pick them off. So, cute little bits of harassment that you could do early on.
Yeah.
But with the bunker there now, won't get in very far.
I mean, Adepts, though, they do tank a lot. Yeah. With only 2 Marines in there, I think the Adepts could just run by if they really felt good about themselves, but I don't think that should be the situation for now. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do with the Shade. One of the coolest things, I think, is just scouting early game for proxies. Send the Shade one direction, your Adept the other direction, and just see a little bit extra know-how. And there's this man, sees the Twilight Council, but still, he just saw an Adept outside his base. He doesn't know if it's Shield or Blink, but they're actually probably the confirmation for Stalkers.
Yeah, and Stargate is actually coming down at the Protoss home as well. Stalkers here putting some pressure on up front, and SCVs even being pulled off to repair. 2 more bunkers coming down as well, and it doesn't look like he's necessarily going to be committing to this heavily.
No, just getting Blink as a utility, staying safe, and I mean it's a fantastic thing to have. Really moving into the mid game, you can do a lot of stuff with it. And on Terraform, you can Blink into the main. If you see, oh, he moved out, I'll just kind of pass him in the night, get into the main, and do something with it. But Blink is only done now. He should be able to blink away, lose relatively little. But there's the Blink starting. Marauders do a little damage, but only 1 Stalker goes down in the end. There's the Oracle on the way, and I'm excited to see maybe some Stasis Wards.
Yeah, could be cute there. The rocks come down. The Stalkers trying to blast that down. The 6 Stalkers obviously here are just going to try and keep the army up front. obviously is trying to distract from anything being in the main base so that the Oracle can get in and do some damage.
Yeah,
There
definitely.
is
And I mean,
Lone Marine here is not going to see. He's just barely going to miss the Oracle coming in.
they should demote him. Demote him down to
Yeah.
an SCV. It's a terrible death as a Marine. You get completely roboticized. I don't know how to say you get turned into a robot, but whatever it is. Here's the Oracle. In the main, there was a missile turret in the natural, but none in the main. Takes a couple seconds for QXC to react. He will lose a few Marines, but now he's got a dicey situation. He has to split his army up. Does it nicely. The Oracle, oh, will it get away? But now the Stalkers may have a chance. Nope. Won't be the case. 7 workers are killed, though.
Yep, bringing the total up to 10 this game so far. And throwing down the fleet beacon is Astrea as well. Actually going to take out this first bunker here. No chance to salvage it.
Always a bummer right there, but I like the fleet beacon from Protoss in general. Now, I myself have not played this. Oh, nice Reaper pickoff. Won't allow to scout to see if he wants to take a third base, but I like playing, or I like Protoss. I haven't actually done that much mass air, but all the Protosses I've faced have always gone into mass air after a little bit of an early game, whether it be Adepts or Blink Stalkers. Sadly, the Blink Stalkers cannot blink onto the other side of those rocks. They did not have vision. A couple will get picked off, but I haven't played against it yet. It's so strong with the carriers now, and you can just throw the interceptors wherever you want. Especially against Marines, it's a lot more useful, and it's a lot less easy to lose those carriers to small packs of stim Marines that kind of get annoying after a while.
Yeah, now our Protoss player actually has very little at home here to defend. There's just these 4 Stalkers, 3 Adepts, and of course the Mothership Core. But this is a not to be underestimated Terran army.
Yeah, no, you cannot underestimate this. Thankfully, only 1 medevac, though, so it's not that big of a chance of not only just supplementing the army, adding more health, but something like half the army goes in the natural, half into the main. More medevacs will be coming, but man, Shades, every time I see a Terran army, I'm like, cool, he's got this. And then we see the Adepts kind of be like, you do no damage to me, I two-shot you. And that's kind of what happens.
Yeah, huge warp in of those, of course, and now the first 2 carriers are out at the 8-minute mark, as you do in the 6th expansion. And
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and yeah, all of a sudden this Terran army looks pretty weak in comparison.
Yeah, and it's all going to come down to the positioning of those carriers, which you can do on Terraform. A lot of nice kind of, I always forget what they're called, dang it. It's not a ravine, it's a canyon, top of the canyon.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of nice positions for them just to hold position on and send out those interceptors. Oh, there's always the chance with the Bio Army, which is how it's useful versus carriers, just to stem those small packs of Marines, as I was saying, if the carriers do not have anything beneath them. For now, though, the Adepts kind of went one way, carriers went the other. Did not use his opportunity. Just to mention, QXC is still on 2 bases, which is pretty big. Yes, he's making a 3rd in his natural, but still, I mean, he's only got 2 base economy to defend this, which is not the best if you're just going to go straight up bio and keep trying to go bio.
Adepts actually just kind of running right by the army, dying there. Rocks are down. Not sure he wants to attack into this just yet. Carrier is certainly good, but there's nothing really tanky here.
Nope. Oh, the time warp always kind of sucky when you're like, oh, I thought it did that instantly. But actually, the Marines will focus down one of the carriers here, picking off one. The second one just barely surviving. The Adepts have a lot of health, but not enough DPS to be able to focus this down. Yes, they killed Marines quickly, but not quite fast enough of a fire rate. Welcome to Bridgehead. Here, on the left-hand side of Bridgehead, hailing from America, representing Team Ascension, it is Astrea. Currently down 1 game.
Mm-hmm. And over here, on the right-hand side, in the now much more fashionable purple, I like this a lot better. It is our hero, the person who goes with no capital letters whatsoever. It is QXC.
Yeah, in last game, we did see the orange from Astrea, so I feel like this is very much switching up your game, QXC's like, I gotta do a different color. Just look at my mini map in a slightly different way than whatever he had before that. What did he have in game one?
He was red in game one.
The red.
Maybe he wanted the contrast better too, because I always hate the red and orange. Sucks.
What would be great is if it was totally a mind game, like it was teal and blue or whatever, or two that really go like blend together, and then in the middle of the battle, if you don't have team colors on, you're like,
the hell's happening? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Both players, of course, getting off their early scouts, which you can get Legacy of the Void. QXC coming in here, he sees the one gas, which relatively not indicative of anything. You can do a lot of pushes off of one gas, but there's the second. And once he scouts the natural, he should be pretty much okay, cool. Now it's in his ballpark. What is his decision here? He could also go for that quick natural base, but for now, I mean, QXC, looking like he may do a 1-1-1 build. He's got his racks out in the factory started. Just finishing, actually.
Yeah, Probe will come in here, immediately get shot down by these Marines. Throwing on the reactor there with the factory finishing up. And see if he will stack. Now, an SCV is moving down towards the natural. And we'll start, presumably, a CC in just a sec.
We'll start a CC off the back of...
Proxy up there, though.
Proxy starport. Now, I assume it's going to be a Liberator. The biggest issue, if it was a Liberator, would be you need the tech lab to actually start the Liberator lockdown or freedom upgrade to be able to really liberate some people, but we'll see. Maybe a Banshee. Either way, there's still a while until it's going to hit. You need a tech lab on that, and his opponent, which is Astrea, moving out with that Adept, may be able to get some scouting off, but he's actually going Stargate. This is an interesting turn of events.
Yeah, Stargate here once again starting an Oracle up, so going a lot quicker with it this time. Now the actual rally path of that may take him close enough to actually see this Stargate, but he's making a medevac here.
Going for a drop, I guess? Yeah. He's got a Hellion and a Widowmine here on the way.
Yeah, looking to just bring them over the rocks and do some damage. Could do fairly well.
I like the idea, but I feel like he could have made this at home and been like, cool, I got a starport now. Because he didn't run to anything on the way. It's not like something scouted it and said, hey, you don't have a medevac with this force. I'm going to do this now.
Oracle sees it, so he'll be there for detection, at least, for this Widowmine.
Oh, Widowmine does pick up a few kills, but there it is.
Nice pickup, though.
It's the nice thing, at least in PvT. Yes, Adepts are really good, but if you go for drops, they can't hit air, obviously. Really nice little game design move.
Yeah, little Hellion attempted a run by, but a pylon was there to fully wall off on that end of things. And Medevac looking for another place to go. The Void Ray, not particularly helpful.
Oh, to
And getting away just barely. Not going to be able to chase him down, but that medevac can't take too many risks for the next little while. He could potentially actually keep going with the Void Ray and get the Stargate possibly in time, but or Starport possibly in time, but does back off.
And that would be a nice little pickup right there. But for now, QX.
Yeah, it's still jarring for me to see the photon overcharge going off on pylons.
Yeah,
it just feels
great. Wrong. My favorite thing is they didn't change the animation, so it's like a Reddit GIF you see. I remember one time it was like supply depots had the planetary fortress thing on top of them, like the same animation, but the animation wasn't changed at all. So I feel like it's someone there saying like, "Oh, cool, could I? Does it work like?" It's like someone at Blizzard just using the editor, like, "Can I throw photon overcharge onto a pylon?" Yeah. By the way, that Oracle was allowed to get some revelation on the medevac, so it's not going to be able to do any drop at all. Astrea's already got cannons up in his bases anyway, so it's pretty much stopped. But I still love that from a game design standpoint. They're kind of like sitting at the board meeting, like, well, what if we did this?
All right. Yeah, pretty much. We got carriers coming out here once again. Although, while the situation is a little bit different right now, there is still kind of a lack of that under army, like that prevents the run-in from Marines. So, which is what you get if you're going air. You either need so much of it that it's overwhelming, or you need something under there to prevent you from just getting run on and destroyed. There's still time, of course, but Terran Army is moving on out here.
I think that is a good point, and off the back of that, what I'm wondering for Astrea is he is looking to take a third base, but the one cool things with carriers on this map is purely you can sit on top of the cliffs, but that third base, if you took the alternate third base, which is where QXC is going to push into, which maybe it's a hidden one up there, but if you took the alternate one, he could defend it a little bit using carriers from that high ground cliffs just below this army. So I feel like it's kind of a strange decision, but we'll still see. Cyclone's really good at killing chaos. Cyclone's really good at killing anything. Actually, scratch that.
They're just good. Does attack the front here, may be able to cancel off this upgrade to air weapons, and will indeed do that. Army tries to reposition.
Yeah, the army will be here to defend, but I mean, this is the point where carriers are good on the defense. Yeah. As long as they can fall back onto stuff, they're good. But he's got to be careful not to overextend, especially with Cyclones.
Yeah, the Adapts running forward there to try and kind of surround, but they thought about it at the last minute and pulled back. Still, the Medivacs pick everything up, and single Adept over here at the third base of QXC, doing a little bit of harassment, but gets cleaned up. And I'm worried again, this is kind of what I was saying, is worried again about how far out these carriers are right now. Mm-hmm. There's more of them this time, but there's less underneath them even. There's also no Mothership Core with this to recall if he gets into trouble.
Yeah, and
or like time warp or anything.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Yeah. At least on... Oh, the Adept's really aggressive. The same situation could happen, but this time, though, they are fighting in a choke point. It's not as if it's a straight alley. The Adepts can kind of force the bio back a little bit and let the carriers do their damage, but while all that is going on, Vikings are hailing down on these carriers. One carry does go out. There's still three, and I think started with four. So, yeah, one carrier down, and this time, at least, it's on the other side of the map. So, loses his army, but trades for it. The issue now, actually, he may barely not lose this one carrier.
Yeah, I think Marines will come in and finish it, but well, it's only got three. This other group trying to make it down.
And the Marauder is kind of standing there like, yeah, bro, we weren't really trained for this. We were never trained for this situation. We don't shoot up. Nah. One important thing to notice is with that push, if it did have +1, it would have hit a lot harder, which was beautiful from QXC to cancel that. So, I mean, you still see it on the way, but now it's going to finish at like the 10:30 to the 11-minute mark, which is not where that push happened. The carrier count has been reset. More carriers on the way, but Astrea only has one star. Actually, he's got two Stargates to the second one, but still, he's only got two Stargates. So, not the best carrier production you may want. Generally, you want 3 or 4 if you're really going to go into the mass carrier.
Terran slamming on in here again. One carrier kind of half full, trying to defend that position, and that they are fairly decent at. A Widow Mine, I'm not even sure how that got in there, but there's a Widow Mine just in the middle of the two bases.
That's the clever move from QXC. Like, you burrow it when it doesn't do any damage, and just okay, there it is. And then every once in a while, like, you see damage, and you kind of scroll over to it, and you're like, no, there's nothing there. No, it can't be anything. But it is, sadly. That Oracle, does he did not get a revelation on the army. Still, again, there's not that much of that ground force you were mentioning, Ender. So I'm a little bit worried. At least he can fall back, and he's got a Mothership Core with 200 energy.
So he ran forward with these Adepts. I assumed he was going to cancel it, and he didn't. And now he's lost a good number of those.
Maybe this is all just like accidental misclicks.
Yeah. It may be that he was distracted up here by the third base. Terran going after those carriers. Not fast.
No, man, there should be a carrier speed upgrade, something of the sort. There's the time warp, but it's not going to be enough to save this third base. Yes, the attack will be cleaned up, but just a note, I mean, carriers, they are 350 minerals, 250 gas. That's more than an ultra. You need serious economy or serious bank to actually produce them. So as long as QXC can just deny any mining and starve Astrea, it's a nice composition, but he can't lose his force like he has been.
Yeah, and he could also just completely outmaneuver him, which is what he's doing. Even in the small space, you can outrun carriers. He's got a fourth base up and actually a fifth in the bottom left-hand corner. Now coming in, attacking, taking out the Templar Archives. The photon overcharge goes off on 2 pylons. 3 pylons, actually, sorry. We'll be able to take out... Actually, not really even. He's trying to attack this planetary, but the carriers are going to get, I think, chased off here. Well, not even chased off. There's really no retreat.
Yeah, no retreat at all. And yeah, man, adepts are good. The carriers are good. They will kill this army, but at the same time, the important tech of Astrea was killed in that attack. That is where the Templar Archives were. That is 100% what Astrea was going to do. He was going to start mixing in some Templars, get Storm, and that is maybe not the shield, but kind of the buffer between the Bio and the carrier army. Just to say, okay, you Storm, you can't move there. Storm, you can't move there. And just sectioning off little areas. Well, still, the carriers, they're going to be able to kill units, but not economy. Right now, it is 55 SCVs to 33 probes, and just... This is Astrea's army here. I don't know how well he can actually bounce back from that attack, taking out his main and all his tech. That was the cybernetic support also.
And they're just still in there. Yeah, they're just still in there, and there's no real answer he's got to this. There's 1 Archon at the natural base here. That's really it. Even the third base, which is reestablished, still has 2 Widow Mines just sitting there, and they've been sitting there since it was killed in the first place. Carrier will come and defend this location, but he's running out of steam for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Astrea, I guess Astrea does push this attack back, but realistically, this QXC he needs to wait a second and get like 10 to 20 Marines, and you can actually see he's producing 10 Marines at a time in the top left, but they're going in one by one. He needs to pull back, wait 30 seconds, and then he can kill it. On the other hand, yeah, these Marines are eventually going to kill the carrier, 12 health left. No, there it is.
There it is.
That final shot, as he was shot in the face by the interceptor, his gun went off. I'm like, hey, got the kill, but man, this is, I mean, you can see how QXC is expanding. He's on a 4th, he's on a 5th base, and this entire time he didn't lose a worker. Or, I mean, he lost 7, but this attack has not been on the economy. It's just been slowly killing Marines, buying time for Astrea, but now he's remaking the Templar Archives. He has 900 gas. If that first attack was somehow stopped, didn't kill the Templar Archives, there would be a beautiful transition into Mass Archon, but right now I feel like as long as QXC's careful, he's going to be fine.
Yeah, there the last carrier does fall down. QXC will take the series 2-0 here, and...
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.